How many times have we heard anti-gunners like Joe Biden say things like, nobody needs an AR-15 or a weapon of war for hunting? Well, it turns out Americans actually prefer to use AR-15 style firearms, modern sporting rifles, for hunting. Stay tuned. Hey folks, I'm Mark Smith, host of the Four Boxes Diner, constitutional attorney, best-selling author, member of the United States Supreme Court Bar, and most importantly, proud American gun owner. If you haven't subscribed to the Four Boxes Diner Second Amendment channel, please do so and show your love for the right to keep and bear arms. And please feel free to share and let other people know about the channel. We're working hard to try to get our videos and information distributed, so we'd appreciate your help in that regard. Okay, guys, the Winchester Ammunition Company conducted a survey of 1,600 hunters and recreational shooters in the first quarter of this year, 2022. And why did they do that? Well, they wanted apparently to learn more about the types of firearms that recreational shooters and hunters were actually using in America. Well, it turns out, and this is no surprise to anyone, that so-called modern sporting rifles, which is the reference that many people in the gun industry like to refer to AR-15 style firearms or AK-47 style firearms, turn out to be very popular with recreational shooters as well as, yes, indeed, people that hunt. Now, before I get into the details of the survey, I want you to step back and remember the legal question here. If you've been following this channel, you should be the smartest people in the room when it comes to the Second Amendment, and I'm going to make you even smarter. I promise that. You see, under I repeat, no fewer than 4 Supreme Court cases, including Heller, Caetano, and most recently Nyserpa versus Bruin, the Supreme Court has made it clear by the Second Amendment are those arms that are commonly used or commonly possessed by Americans for lawful purposes. So that gets us back to this Winchester Ammunition Survey of recreational shooters and hunters. Because remember, although we usually talk about the Second Amendment in terms of self-defense against all forms of tyranny, whether the tyranny is criminals trying to kill you, whether it be terrorists trying to kill you, or tyrannical governments, or foreign invaders, right? Whatever the self-defense need arises, we usually talk about the Second Amendment in the context of self-defense. But the U.S. Supreme Court itself says that the issue is arms are protected if they're commonly used for lawful purposes. Well, one such lawful purpose, although it's not expressly the purpose of the Second Amendment, which is really about protecting individual rights, but still, one component of a lawful purpose of using firearms in the United States is 100% hunting. In fact, hunting is actually discussed in the Heller versus the District of Columbia decision in 2008, written by Justice Antonin Scalia, the late Justice Antonin Scalia. Here is what Justice Scalia wrote in the Heller decision about hunting being a lawful purpose, contemplated by, yes, the right to keep and bear arms, as codified by the Second Amendment. Justice Scalia wrote, the prefatory clause, which refers to the well-regulated militia, does not suggest that preserving the militia was the only reason Americans valued the ancient right to self-defense, the ancient right to keep and bear arms, okay? Scalia wrote that most, referring presumably to the Founding Fathers, most undoubtedly thought it even more important for self-defense and hunting. So again, while we think about the Second Amendment as all forms of self-defense against all forms of tyranny, it did include specifically hunting, because remember, at the time of our founding, many people, and even today, people will use the process of hunting with firearms to provide for their family and their communities. Sustenance farming. So because obviously Americans use firearms, including AR-15 style firearms, modern sporting rifles, if you will, for all lawful purposes, and one of those lawful purposes is undoubtedly hunting, again, it's yet another reason why AR-15 style firearms and AK-47 style firearms should be protected under the Second Amendment. I suspect will ultimately be deemed protected given the way the Bruin decision was written and how the lower court should follow it. And if they don't follow it, then I think they will all get slapped down by the U.S. Supreme Court in short order. But I want to go back to the Winchester Ammunition Survey. So according to the 2022 ammunition consumption study by the Winchester Ammunition Company, which again, I'm going to put the links to this study and the information about the study down below, more than half of the recreation shooters use center fire style modern sporting rifles, which again refers to, among other things, AR-15 style center fire firearms and rifles. And 40% of those hunters surveyed use modern sporting rifles as well. Again, AR-15 style firearms. I'm not surprised at all. Now, also in some of the discussions associated with the survey, people indicated they would hunt with AR-15 style firearms. They would go after prairie dogs. They would go after foxes. I know we don't talk a lot about it, but hunting is indeed a lawful purpose of using firearms in the United States, and modern sporting rifles, AR-15s and AK-47s are all used for various forms of hunting in the United States, and according to this Winchester ammunition survey, they are quite popular, and I'm not shocked by this, and I'm guessing neither are you. But this data is very helpful because at some point, this data will presumably be used in court battles where those anti-gun blue states are trying to, or have banned so-called assault weapons, which, as you know, are just standard semi-automatic rifles, and I suspect that those bans will fall and be knocked out by courts in short order. And let's hope that's the case. Okay, I hope you learned a little bit something here today at the Four Boxes Diner. If you haven't subscribed, please do so. Share our videos far and wide. And again, we'll see you again soon here at the Four Boxes Diner.
Orders up. Table 2A.